now doing video 6 of 9, the bandsaw. On the previous videos, 3, 4, and 5, we went through how to square a board, 5 steps. We did the joining of the edge, we did the ripping of the width, and the power miter saw we did cutting them to length. So the next step would be to do cutting irregular shapes or curves, done on the bandsaw, and on our parts for the table, okay, our four legs have ends that are rounded, okay, and then some of our other parts are rounded as well. And I have patterns for those particular parts. So you can see how the ends are rounded on them. Some of the other projects that we do in here, in Woods 2 we make an Adirondack chair, and you can see the irregular shape of this part and the irregular shape of this part. So that's done on the bandsaw. One of the other projects that we do is this wristwatch clock, and you can see the irregular shapes of them. That's done on this machine as well. There are some square parts, but majority of this project is done on the bandsaw. A couple things that you need to know about the bandsaw. Number one, always keep the stock flat on the table. The distance between the upper guide and your material, your stock, should be about 1/4 of an inch. To loose or to remove and lower it, you loosen the knob, and there should be, like I said, about 1/4 of an inch so that your board still slides freely. Now we have 2 bandsaws in here. This one, there's also another one in the shop. Margin of safety on the bandsaw, 2 inches. Okay, all the other machines have been 4 or 6. The bandsaw is 2 inches. You want to try to avoid twisting the blade, so don't put too much torque or too much twisting on the blade, or you'll snap it or pull it off the rollers. So try to avoid twisting the blade. If you have a real tight radius that you've got to come around, we do what are called relief cuts, and that would be later on in the demonstration when we get to that point of the project. But for the folding table that we're going to be doing in Woods 1, okay, you don't have tight radiuses here. Anytime you're cutting on the bandsaw, you want to cut away from your line. How far away? Between about 1/16 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch. As you get more comfortable using the bandsaw, you'll be able to get closer to your line. The reason why we want to cut away from our line, because we want to sand it to the line. Well, whenever you cut on a bandsaw, it leaves a rough cut. On the table saw, it leaves a smooth edge, smooth cut. On a bandsaw, it leaves a rough cut, so we need to sand to our line. That's our reference point, is leaving our line. And I can't stress the importance of leaving your line. Okay? As far as any other adjustments, that's it. Upper guide, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so you just loosen it, set it, and then tighten it. Okay? You want to keep your board flat on the table, whether you're feeding it in or you're just pivoting it and moving it around. Now with this piece being this long, I'm not going to be able to try to cut it and put it against the wall. So I have to put it on this side of the table and cut away from my line. Speed is another thing that's critical. You don't want to go too fast. Okay? You can go slow on here because, again, we're going to come back and sand it. So if we burn the wood, it's no big deal. We're going to sand it off. So you can go slow, but don't go too fast. All right? Again, this particular machine is not tied into the dust collector. All right? All the other ones that we've covered, except for the power miter saw, have. On-off switch over here. And this one has a light on it, so you can move the light wherever you need to so you can see what you're doing. All right, so I'm going to cut both ends of these. Safety glasses, a must. Turn it on. And again, get in a comfortable position. You know, this is kind of an awkward position, so you can move to to the side of it, and don't try to get too close from the beginning. Just come in, watch the blade. Again, I hardly have any grip on the board. I'm holding it down, and I'm just going to rotate or pivot. Okay, see, I still see my line. Okay, slow and steady. About a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch from your line. As you get better at using the bandsaw, you can probably get closer to your line. Remove the scraps after each cut. Don't let them accumulate around the saw blade. Slow and steady, keep the board flat on the table. Okay? See, I got real close to my line there, but I still have a line that I can sand to. That's one end. Complete the process at the other end. Now, that's not a whole lot of material to remove, so the bandsaw does it rather quickly. Okay, I got both ends, all four corners cut. If I was cutting something like this, it would take a little bit more time, and I'd have to reposition my board and go at it at a couple different directions. So, this is more advanced. This is pretty basic. All right, so again, this is the bandsaw. 2-inch margin of safety. Don't twist the blade. Keep the board flat on the table. Don't go too fast, and stay away from your line. Adjust the upper guide to 1/4 of an inch. So this is video 6 of 9, the bandsaw.